If you enjoyed today's content, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell below, comment, and please share this video. Enjoy this episode of Coffee and UFOs.
And I like this expression.
Absolutely, because it illuminated. It was a burst of light from the three lights, It brightened up right before it took off.
So cheers. Welcome, Bill Skywatcher.
What's happening, Alan?
And this is Bill Skywatcher. He's a producer at KGRA Radio. So cheers to all of you out there joining us today.
There you go.
Another edition of Coffee and UFOs.
I made this cup just for you, Alan.
Just for me?
Just for you.
Is there coffee in there?
Yeah, there is actually.
Nice.
With hazelnut creamer.
Look, I had hazelnut coffee earlier today. I haven't had it in a long time, and it was so good.
Did you see my mug though? The Bill Skywatcher mug.
That's cool. That's really cool. I like this expression. So I'm going to ask you the first and most important question.
What's
Have
that?
you, Bill, seen the UFO?
Yes, and filmed it. Yes.
Oh,
So twice.
Twice. Mm-hmm.
One was actually in New York City. The first one, 1995, June 10th. And why I remember that day is because they were showing Pocahontas in Central Park.
Interesting. Okay.
So it was about 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking out my window because that night there was a thunderstorm. And I used to love watching thunderstorms, the lightning, the whole thing. I'm a weather guy.
Yeah.
So I'm looking out the window and I see a boomerang-shaped object with 5 bluish white lights go right over my building.
Mm-hmm.
No sound. I'm like, okay. Did I just see what I think I said? And Alan, I wasn't into UFOs and all that stuff like I am now with the KGRA and all that.
Was it fast enough so that it was like a light trail, kind of a?
No, I could discern the features of it, but it was moving fast, but not that fast where it was like a blink of the eye kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So it was heading toward New York City where the hue of the fireworks could be seen because I guess they had a fireworks display after Pocahontas was being shown in Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
So I contacted, at the time, New Fork was the only place to really go to make a report. So I contacted Peter Davenport. He emailed me a few days later. He says, Bill, you're not alone. Many people seen it from New York City up the Hudson River into Canada.
Interesting. So it went along the Hudson line?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It went from New York City up like the Hudson River, and it was seen into Canada.
I mean, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the timeline between here and Canada? Was it hours or?
He didn't. I can't remember. I mean, that email was 1995, so I don't remember. But it is on the New Fork site. It's documented there.
Okay. Yeah.
Then in 1999, I was on the beach in Montauk, and I was with my mom and her friend and my friends, and I was fishing for striped bass. It was that night. And because of what had happened in 1995, I'm being honest, Alan, I had a flashlight, and as a joke, I said, I'm going to call the aliens. I walked to the water's edge, and it was a beautiful, clear night. I mean, there was no heat lightning, nothing going on, no aurora borealis, too far south for that. So I started flashing the light, and all of a sudden, different colors started to appear right over the ocean. It was the most beautiful thing, but it wasn't it looked like it was widespread. It was everywhere. I was like, oh my God. So Mom ran to the hotel room. She was hysterical. She was scared, but I stood there in awe because it was beautiful. So then a guy comes running out of his home past the dune. And he says, okay, I don't want to sound like I'm crazy, but did you guys see anything unusual over the ocean? I said, yeah, we were right here. We watched the whole thing. And what's interesting about this, Alan, is do you remember when Chris Garitano did the Montauk Chronicles documentary?
Oh, that was years ago, wasn't it?
That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
I told him about this, and he sent me a clip that was not in the Montauk Chronicles doc. And it has a fisherman talking that he's seen something similar to what I seen while he was out in the ocean to his south, which would have been exactly where I was looking, because I was looking out east.
Mhm.
So if we were to pinpoint that, it seems like we may have seen the same thing going on at the same time.
That's really interesting. What
I know.
what's up with calling things down? What do you think that's all about? Why is it that it seems that sometimes when people reach out and say, "Hey, are you there?" something happens.
Well, for me, Mom has had a couple of her own personal experience. I don't know if this is some type of linear thing that goes on with family members, and it starts at a very early age. Because I have to be honest with you, I started talking about ET when I was like 6, 7 years old, and I don't know why. I don't know why. And I used to argue with my mom because I'm raised a Catholic, and I used to tell her, "Mom, I think God is an alien." And that didn't go over well in the house. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I'm guessing you didn't read Zechariah Sitchin.
No, I wasn't into this stuff.
Yeah.
So then I moved up here in the Hudson Valley. You're aware of where I am, near Pine Bush.
Mhm.
And I started putting these cameras outside. And I think it was in 2014.
Yeah.
I caught something coming down and then up. It stops and it has 3 lights, which is propulsion, in my opinion. It illuminates and then it goes whoop, right back into space. I don't know. And now, for the first one, it could be some kind of a top secret military project kind of a thing. I don't know. The one over Montauk, I have no explanation. The one I captured over here above, I don't know if it's a drone. I don't know what it is. All I can say, it's unknown. A UAP. I don't like using UFO. I like UAP better.
Okay. You think that the lights have something to do with the propulsion?
Absolutely, because it illuminated. It was a burst of light from the 3 lights, brightened up right before it took off.
Okay.
You understand? So I think it's some kind of a power
distortion field, or okay, yeah. Well, isn't it interesting because some of the thoughts that go along with the metal that was supposedly found on Area 51 that was given to Art Bell
and Linda
Moulton Howe, right?
Mhm.
And then now in Tom DeLonge's possession.
Yep.
That the testing that they want to do is like some sort of terahertz charging that to see if it would levitate, or that's what they hope, I guess, to see. So I wonder if I wonder what that would look like when you actually charge a metal. Would it create a glow?
And I know that there's supposedly that this thing is not of this earth.
Mm-hmm.
The elements that makes up the composition of this material.
Right.
So, and we know all the stories we hear. If I had to guess, they have to have some type of a propulsion system that's way advanced than ours, and anti-grav or some sort of propulsion that we are working on right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not aware. And I'm sure some of these things that we see in the sky might be something that's being tested, similar to what happened with the Tic Tac. Now, yeah, they encountered something, but what if that's something of our own? And they used our own military to apply it and test it with, to see what their response would be with it.
Sure. Well, it's interesting too that you say that, because the Tic Tac UFO, I don't know all the sensors that they have on their cameras, but daylight sighting, you may not see the glow, you may not see that electrical charge.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why you don't see that on that footage. I don't know. But also the interesting thing about the footage is it doesn't have a heat signature.
Exactly.
That's what makes it really unique. So I wonder, can you have an electrical charge that glows enough at night but isn't really hot per se?
Well, obviously, if it doesn't give off any heat, that means there has to be some type of a sealed cooling mechanism, so it doesn't give off. Because think about it, if you're using something that you want to be stealth,
right,
you don't want it. If it's especially in a military application,
right, yeah,
you want it not to be detected by that. So this could be something, and I don't know, I'm just speculating, but this could be something that they're testing to see how, and they knew that it was an unarmed practice drill.
Right.
So, the pilots weren't armed with any kind of munitions. This was a drill.
It was like safe for them to go in.
Exactly.
No.
And test it and see what the response would be. And I'm sure this could be a small model. I don't know exactly the size they describe, but that would be a great way to see how we respond and to see how it can maneuver and outrun any tactical advantage we think we may have. And actually it would probably give up our weaknesses. It would probably show the vulnerabilities within our own response to something like that. So it's a perfect way to set up a test.
Yeah.
That's just my own opinion. I'm not saying it could be something else, but I'm starting to lean that it might be something of our own.
Yeah. It's fascinating. That may very well be the case. But I've got to move on to the next question
Yeah.
for UFOs. And that is, have you seen a ghost or cryptid?
Oh, don't get me started with that.
Really?
Are you kidding? You don't. I went
really
to.
chatted about that, so I don't know.
All right. I went to Nuclear Lake with a friend of mine. His name is Al Santoriga, and he's part of the Bronxville Paranormal Society. I had a friend here from the UK, Heidi, when we had Pine Bush 2 years ago. We went to a place in Dutchess County. It's called Nuclear Lake. And I had my camcorder in my hand. I put it down on a log, and I said, and I have the video, I have the audio. I put it down and said, if something happens, it reminds me of something out of Blair Witch. Not 5 seconds later, you hear a young woman's voice say, Bill. Twice.
Wow.
And none of us did it.
Right.
I don't know.
Wait, but you caught this recording?
I have it. I actually had that. And the people I've shown it to say it's a Class A EVP. Poison ivy too. And all right, I'm going to put my camera down a second. When something happens, it's almost like Blair Witch.
Yeah, the mozzies are out in force.
Yeah, you could feel them.
Yep. Can't hear them though, so that means
did you put spray at all, Al? And people are going to say, oh, it was Heidi, it was this. I'm telling you that it was not them, because we were all standing there. I would have heard Heidi say, Bill. We didn't hear nothing. Someone seen it on my YouTube channel. Said, Bill, I don't know if you're messing around, but there's something really creepy saying your name at such and such time. I look back, and there it was, Alan.
Yeah. I don't think, I don't know Heidi other than through social media. I don't think she would keep this as a long-running practical joke that like one day she's going to reveal to you, Bill, it was me the whole time.
Jimmy Church talked about it on Fade to Black. I mean, it made its rounds. It was a really interesting thing. And in this house, and like I tell you, things happen in this house that sometimes I can't explain.
Well, look, I think we've all had experiences with hearing something or something in the corner of our eye we see. Right. But when someone else is there to corroborate it, and then you have a video, a recording, audio recording,
yep,
it's pretty undeniable. But of course, anybody who doesn't know you, Bill, would just be like, well, whatever. It was a misunderstanding, or someone forgot that they said something, or,
And cryptid, just to add, when we went to Nuclear Lake on Halloween of 2015, we went in the middle of the woods. We were 3.5 miles from the vehicle where we parked. And I'm telling you, Alan, it sent chills through my spine, down my spine. And we heard the most bizarre sound that I've never heard with my human ears ever in my life. And we think it could have been, we didn't see anything, but we think it could have been a Bigfoot. I'm not kidding. You need to bring these guys on your show and they'll tell you.
Was it a different sensation between that Bigfoot experience, supposed Bigfoot experience, suspected, or the woman's voice? We get that eerie kind of feeling when there's a presence around. Do you recall? Is it a similar feeling or different in any way?
No, it was just bone curdling, because it's like it went from like this location and then it came from that location. It's like it moved really fast. No, and it was not an owl, because we're familiar with a lot of the sounds that we hear from the animals in our area.
Yeah,
we know the sound. This was something that I never heard of in my life, and I looked it up the next day. all the different types of sounds that deer and bear and everything makes, and mating calls, etc.
Mhm.
And then I stumbled on a Bigfoot sighting, and I said, "That's what I heard."
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Final question.
Yes.
In the world of ufology, if you could change something, what would it be?
Unity.
Hmm. You're not the first
I
person
wish.
to say that.
Yeah, I wish that everybody would work in coordination, because I think we're all truth seekers and looking for that goal to find the truth, seek the truth.
Yeah.
And instead of maybe the egotistical opinions of some, and they try to make their theory to be like highlighted and they ignore what other people are saying, I think it would be interesting, instead of talking so much, open up your ears and listen as well.
Well, yeah, and I would say even if you disagree,
Agree to disagree.
even if this is just my personal feeling, even if somebody suddenly says something that's outlandish, I don't think other ufologists should just jump on them right away. I think we should be very civil in our discourse and just say, I hear what you're saying. This is my counter argument, and this is what I think. Instead, I think sometimes people's emotions get involved, and they start kind of attacking each other. And it's like, why are we doing this to each other? Because even if I think maybe someone is full of it, you know, like I think just for decorum and professionalism, you know, we should have some you know, civil behaviors between each other, that, and just present the facts, your case, my case, your case, my case, and then let each other, the community, and people who follow this stuff make up their own mind. You know?
The thing is, who deems anything to be credible to the point where you say, okay, this seems to be something that is tangible, without any physical evidence? Everyone's story is hearsay.
Oh, exactly. I mean, we're dealing with so much hearsay, single first person accounts. It's very subjective.
Exactly.
So
I can't discount.
You need to be more objective.
Yeah, well, like when we go to Pine Bush, there's so many people that come up to us and tell us their stories. Who am I to tell them that what they've seen is not what they've seen?
Right.
You know, their story is just as important as anyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can tell body language when a person's expressing themselves, how authentic they seem to be.
Right.
And that it's genuine.
If they're telling the truth, they're not just
exactly,
you know, churning.
And I see that a lot of people are having what they deem to have some type of experience. Now, is there an explanation? Very possible.
Mm-hmm.
But who are we to discount what they're saying as to be factual?
Right. Exactly.
So, like you said, a story. Why is one story so outlandish, but because it's a little bit maybe less and mellow, so to speak, that it's more acceptable?
Yeah.
Who determines that? I mean, because somebody sounds like this story is so outstanding, and I mean, it's crazy, it's beyond belief. But who's to say that didn't really happen?
Right. Seeing a UFO is one thing, but if you saw an ET, suddenly you're a nutcase. You know,
exactly. It's like taking it to the next level. And who knows? We don't know.
We don't know. Yeah. Unless you know. Do you know, Bill?
No. Let me ask you this question before we go. I know I definitely want to have contact. What about you?
I'm agnostic.
Okay, but still,
I don't trust, as much as I want to believe that these are benign entities. I don't know. Just like you said, I don't know that person's story to be true or not true. I have no idea.
Careful what you wish for.
Exactly. And so I'm not going to wish for it upon me, man. I had a moment once where I was like, hey, if you're out there, and I saw a couple lights show up in the sky, but I wasn't sure really what that was, but I thought, oh, it was eerie. It just kind of popped up. But I was like, nah, I'm never going to do that again, because I don't want to see that. I've seen it. I saw UFO when I was a kid. That's fine.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. In this house, we sleep with battery timered candles.
Yeah.
They're not actual candles, they're battery timer lights. And there's one thing I know. I never want to wake up in the middle of the night in the pitch black and have something standing at the side of my bed, because I think I would probably die from a heart attack. So I have to have the room a little little illuminated, so I could see what's going on.
Whatever is there, yeah.
Yeah, not that it's going to just suddenly appear and I'm done.
Yeah, because not knowing exactly what it is the scariest thing.
Exactly.
Even if it's the most horrific looking monster, I'd rather see that horrific monster in all its glory than just shadowy figure. Yeah.
And another thing too is you're going to be looking at something you've never seen before, right there, live, or maybe mech. You never know, but it's something that's right there in front of you, and you're looking at it, and it's, you know, all the features that come with something that's living. So I don't know how that would be initially, the shock, and then maybe I'd calm down, but I don't even know if I can make that point where I'm calming down enough to deal with the situation.
Yeah, because your body's going to need oxygen, because your brain's going, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So you're going to be, yeah. I don't want to be there. I know we both talked to people who've been in those situations, and
exactly.
I know that I don't want to. But Bill, thank you so much, brother, for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Cheers. With coffee.
All right.
And you have it, like I said, have a happy holidays, happy New Year.
Yeah, you too.
And looking forward to working with you in 2020.
Yeah, me too. The last show of the year I have right now is a pre-record on the 24th, which will air, and I think then it's the next year. So,
well, trust me, I think Commander Cobra, Mark D'Antonio, yourself, maybe Chris DePerno, and I may be doing some conferences for KGRA in 2020.
Interesting.
To be continued.
To be continued.
Dot.
All right.
All righty.
Thank you. We'll get you more updates on that.
Yes, we will. Anyway, God bless you and the family, and you have a great night, Alan.
Okay, you too. Take care, brother.
Take care.
If you like today's content, please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell down below. Thanks again.